because the more you know about AI, it is not going to take away your job unless you allow it to. But what it is going to do is it's going to make you a better human.
Hi there, I'm Charly, the host of Rise and Shine, your business tech inspiration podcast, and the founder and CEO of Ask Charly Leetham, your tech support team. My goal is to help small to medium business owners build their businesses using the internet and online technologies in an appropriate and cost-effective manner. People hire me to take the stress out of managing the technical side of their businesses and allow themselves to focus on what they do best. Today, I have a guest with me. It's Chris Carter. Chris is a visionary leader at the forefront of SAP, AI, and cybersecurity, with over 3 decades of pioneering expertise in enterprise technology. Widely recognized as the grandfather of SAP Cloud, he has dedicated his career to transforming how organizations leverage technology to drive innovation, security, and sustainable growth. Now, one of the things we are going to answer in this conversation is what SAP actually is. So don't sweat it, guys. We will get there. Chris, thank you so much for joining us. I am so pleased to have you with us.
Thank you. I am excited to be here. I was really excited when you started giving me all those props, but then all of a sudden you called me a grandfather, and I feel old now. I need to shave my beard off. I need to go get a tan or something. But yes, thank you so much. I'm so excited.
Look, I am really glad to have you here. Before we go any further, whereabouts are you located?
So I am literally right in the middle of the United States of America. I am about 2.5 hours north of Chicago, Illinois, in the great state of Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. Okay, cool. Excellent. And do you do a lot of traveling? Because when we started this conversation, you said you'd been doing a lot of traveling. Do you travel a lot?
I do. I'm literally all over the globe. I'm everywhere around the globe. I've been to every continent so far. And it's funny, right now, Wisconsin is being picked on by a group of internet folks in the United Kingdom, of all places, because somebody told them that somebody out there could outdrink everybody in the UK, and it comes from this little place called Wisconsin. So I'm having a blast with people in Europe right now. Hence the reason I'm wearing my Ryder Cup, even though because I literally just got off of a podcast with the folks in the United Kingdom. We had a blast picking on them about the fact that one little state in the United States could outdrink the entire country of the United Kingdom.
Is that fair income? Now, we're going to have to do some stats on this because I'm an Australian, and Australian are known for our...
we're known for your alcohol as well, but yes, we'll do a little technology comparison on alcohol consumption.
Sounds fantastic.
It's kind of funny. We talk about all these technologies. We talk about what do we like to do at the end of the day when we've been working too hard? Let's go crack one open, or let's get a cold one, or let's put something in a bottle. Let's go relax. So it works hand in hand with both of us.
It really does. I look forward to my cold glass of wine at the end of the day, especially when I've been using my brain a lot.
You and me both.
Now, Chris, why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself? You've already told me that you've traveled a lot and that I don't know if it's you personally like to drink or whether that your state likes to drink, but why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So I am, I'm Chris Carter. I'm very fortunate. I own a group of technology companies, and I've been in technology my entire career. I started out on an old Commodore VIC-20 and then went to an Apple IIe, and I took those off to college in Georgia, where I went to Georgia Tech, and I loved traveling and working in technology. So I literally did. I still do to this day. As a matter of fact, I just booked another 2 trips today that I have to take before the end of the year. I love talking with people. I've written 17 books. So I go out and I speak a lot, and I'll talk to customers. I'll talk to prospects. I'll talk to individuals who just pick up a phone and say, hey, I want to talk to Chris. I've got this thing that I'm trying to do, this new AI thing, or this cybersecurity thing, or even from an SAP perspective and a networking. and I chit chat with people all the time. It's funny. I literally last Friday I was flying back home to meet my wife to go to our niece's wedding, and somebody just kind of walked up to me and said, "By chance, are you Chris Carter?" Yes. What? How? He goes, "I saw you on a podcast earlier this year, and I always wanted to reach out, and you looked familiar, and you've got your new glasses on yet." And I'm like, "Oh my God, thank you very much. It's very kind." But I love to travel and talk with individuals and just chit chat about technology. And then I do have a lot of alcohol. I do. My wife and I, we own a pub. So.
Oh, do you? Oh, well, look,
we,
I tell you what, when I'm in the US and I come to Wisconsin's, I will come and come visit your pub.
Please do. I would love to have you up here. You're welcome anytime.
That sounds great. All righty, so let's have a talk about what SAP is, and how I really wanted to focus on how does this work with small business? What is it small business needs to take from it? We talk a lot about AI, and I don't know if you've caught up with any of my recent podcasts, but I've been talking a lot about AI and how, yes, it's really helpful, but it's also quite detrimental if you're not using it properly. So why don't we hop into the discussion there? What is SAP? I'm going to say I know the term SAP because I come from a very government corporate background, so corporate selling into government, and SAP is not what we're going to talk about today. SAP is a huge system that gets customized. So when I'm saying, I'm like, what am I going to talk to you about? Let's go.
You're right, but you're actually not necessarily 100% right on that. It is a big monolithic application that government agencies and big time companies, Molson Coors and all these companies, they use it. But also, I'm an SMB. I only have 173 staff members myself. I use it for financials, for HR, for our tracking, time tracking, our travel. There's different components of it. The SMB market, or the mid-market for the SAP market, is actually growing faster than the larger enterprises, because all the larger enterprises are pretty much sold off already, unless you get a golden unicorn or a purple unicorn, whatever they call them these days. But us in the SMB market, we're the ones they really want to start catering to. And they started that process maybe about 5 years ago. Everything's now on a cloud. Everything's pre-built. Everything's there and ready for us. So I don't have to have a QuickBooks. I don't have to have a Salesforce.com. I don't have to have a travel management application. Everything is built into one nice, neat, clean package, and it's up in the cloud. So a company like mine doesn't have to worry about that. All I do is buy the licenses, I tell them to put it on Azure, and we just so happen to do it for ourselves. But it makes life so much easier. And it's actually not that expensive for us to take away and get rid of all that other stuff and just use one system of record. And that's why I loved your podcast on AI. I remembered I was, here's a really bad story. I should be knowing these things as a technologist. A year ago, I was supposed to fly to Sydney and Brisbane and then head over to New Zealand. I forgot that I had to actually get a visa to get into the beautiful country of Australia. And I forgot. So I go to the airport and I didn't have it in my passport. And they're like, "Well, where's your visa?" Like, why do I need a visa to go to Australia? I said, "We're all friendly with each other. This isn't some other third world country." And they're like, "No, you must have one." So I had to cancel my trip and I had to redo it about 2 months ago, or maybe 2 months ago. God, I can't remember. So I had my visa, I had my passport, and when I travel and I just listen to podcasts because I don't like TV. I don't like the bad news, and it's hardly ever good news these days. And I'm a technologist and a sports guy. So I went over, I did my work, I did my speeches and all, and I'm like, let's talk AI. This would be great. So I think that's how I reached out and I said, please, can we talk?
Yeah, that was exactly it. Yeah, I think that was the one where I had actually been speaking about the legalities of using AI for content creation.
That's huge.
That was
huge.
Massive. Absolutely massive. And honestly, just without digressing too far, the research I did on it, because I always research it and get into the nitty gritty of it. And I'm sitting there reading it going, I should have known this. Like, this is just common sense, but you don't think about it. You don't think about it. So yeah. So okay. So SAP. What does it actually stand for?
Statistical Analytical Processing. So when you've got you're using statisticals, you're using stats, you're using numbers. Analytical, of course, it's analyzing all of the pieces apart. And you've got products and processing that you got going on. It's a German-based company. It was started in the way back when by Hasso and the guys. And it was guys that came out of IBM, and they thought that there would be a better way to put everything together rather than all the applications that IBM was always trying to sell to their customers.
Right. Okay. So, and if you can just sort of outline a little more, you said it sits up in the cloud and you just buy the licenses. What are we actually talking about? I have a feeling I understand it, but I'd love you to clarify that for me.
Let me dig a little deeper. So when you buy an SAP application, you get asked a couple of questions, and these are the questions we ask. What cloud do you want? So do you want Azure? Do you want AWS? Not necessarily today a good day to ask that question if you want AWS. Do you want GCP? Do you want IBM? And then you can do some data center stuff with them. They've got 3 there. So right away you do that. They want clean core. So you're going to build a greenfield environment where it's just going to be exactly as it comes out of the box. Your licenses, everything that you're going to get for your company, minimum is 20 licenses. You put that up and you basically have a front-facing screen. So just like I'm doing this on my computer right now, that's where all my data is going to be, because it's literally just going to connect to that cloud and have all of your data. And the nice thing with that is it's only your data. It's not everybody else's. And I'm sure we'll talk about this about AI. You don't want everybody else's data. You only want yours to make your company's best decisions for your best capability. If you start using other people's data, not so much. And what the tools so yes, that's what it is. It's we ask the right questions, put it up in the cloud. We build the system for you, the system of record, your AP, your AR, your finance, your HR, your shipping and development, your warehousing. All that comes together, and then it's got one system of truth, one database of truth, and that's where the beauty of all of that comes into play.
Okay, so let me just summarize that. So, because there was a couple of things that we said there that I want to make sure we cover, and people aren't so going, what, huh? So SAP is Statistical Analytic Processing.
Yeah, SAP.
Cool. Now, I don't want people to sort of get too glazed over on it, but when Chris was talking about what sort of cloud do you want, Azure or AWS, or that's where we're going to host it? Where are you going to put all of your data? And they all have different setups. They've got different ways of doing things. They've got different costs, of course, and the way they cost things out make a difference. That's the sort of thing that you would actually work with someone like Chris to work out, and they'd give you the ups and downs of it all and the pros and the cons of it all. And then you said greenfields, and I know what greenfields is, and I'm sure some people went, huh, what's that? So greenfields is it's just vanilla. It's just a vanilla. You take it out of the box. These products, and I don't know if anyone's actually ever worked or heard someone who's worked with government and said, we're getting an SAP installation. And it's going to take 3 years to do, and because what they do is they take a base system that's vanilla, and then they do a whole heap of needs analysis, they do a whole heap of process analysis, they work out what you actually need, how you work, where the data is, they pull it all together, and then at the end of it you should end up with a pretty homogeneous system, a system that all works together. Sometimes government agencies don't quite get there.
Yeah, unfortunately, the United States Army project is into its 15th year.
That sounds about right. Yeah. And of course, I mean, the other part of all of that, and I'm sure we'll cover it off, is you've got to then train people on how to use it. And It's no use
Yes.
just having a system sitting there. You've got to actually have people who understand how the system works. You've got to have your processes in place. Okay, so that's what SAP is. It's basically a collection of systems that run your business for you. Chris mentioned AP, accounts payable, accounts receivable. So all of your accounting stuff, your invoicing, follow-up, time tracking, travel, document management's a big part of it.
Yes. And it goes all the way to warehousing, supply chain, everything
Yep.
you can think of, from large companies to small companies. If you've got manufacturing processes, or if you're a CPG company, or if you're a smaller organization like myself and others, if you only want to use the financial side of it, or the HR or the CRM, you can do that as well, which is great.
Yep. Yeah, and the thing is that it's got all the nice hooks in it, so the data is shared nicely. I'm
Yes.
going to say that, I work with small businesses who, I've got this system over here and I've got this system over here, and we need them to talk to each other. It's like, well, the APIs don't provide that information. We
Yes.
can't actually pull that information out of it. What we can do is pull it down into CSVs. We can massage the CSVs, and then we can transfer it up. That's a lot of work. And then, of course, the interfaces change and the systems change. We've got to go back and rewrite all of those processes to match the new systems. SAP systems tend to take that. And I'll be a little careful, because there's never 100%. Nothing is ever 100% perfect. But they tend to take that all out of it. Okay. So that's what SAP is, Chris. What's the next thing that businesses need to know about this? Do we want to go into the AI and how that works? Actually, that's a really good question. You mentioned it's only your data. Why is it important that it's only your data?
It's incredibly important for companies. If you're going to make business decisions for your organization, you only want to use your data when it comes to your finances, when it comes to how your business is going to, maybe it's Christmas time, and what you're going to ship out to customers, or what you need to be able to do for customers, and how you need. But you only want to do that with yours, because if all of a sudden let's say you're a retail store, and let's say you've got maybe 5 locations or 6 locations, a smaller organization like we're working with, all of a sudden you get data from, let's call it a Carrefour. You all of a sudden are getting data from Carrefour, which is a global multi-billion-dollar entity with facilities in China, in Europe, and Asia. All of a sudden, your data gets mixed with theirs, and everything is going to be skewed completely. So you want to make sure that you're getting any records and any reports, so you can make decisions based for your customers and for your organization to do those things. Just your data. Keep everybody else's away from it, so you know what's going on. Your system of record is your system of truth for your organization. That's how I explain it to folks.
So I guess I'm going to just sort of push a little one on that, because people are going to be saying, but we are only using our data, aren't we? Like, if we're using AI, aren't we just using our data?
So here's the problem with AI. There are so many variations of AI that you can use. Now, if you're doing it for sales and marketing, there's one way. If you're doing things like Canva and Gamma, and you're doing all these tools that you're doing all your advertising, your promotions, and your marketing, that's a different set of AI than if you're doing the logistics and activities for your organization. If you're going to run Christmas specials, and if you were going to see how much product you need to get into your warehouses, how much you're going to be shipping out, who you're shipping and receiving, that's a different type of tool and a different set of data that you can use as well. And then if you've got your coders in your company who are actually doing development and activities, those are different set of AI tools as well, and a different set of data. So if you use anybody else's data in any of those schemes, now all of a sudden you're mixing and commingling activities. Well, what if you're taking your biggest competitor's data and you're using that to figure out how you're going to ship for the Christmas holiday season? Here in the States, we've got our Black Friday events right after Thanksgiving. Then you've got all that time before Black Friday all the way until Christmas Day and all that. If you don't know your statistics and you're pulling others in, everything is going to be skewed, and it's going to be, we call it brownfield. Instead of greenfield, we got brownfield. Instead of blue, green, and brown. But again, one of the things that I say to organizations, if you're using this strictly for sales and marketing activities, if you've got your CRM tool and you want to build videos and you want to build advertisements, okay, we'll go out there and get Creatively and get Gamma and get Canva. Use those tools and see what other companies are doing and how they are in your industry. So if you're retail, focus on what are some of the retail organizations doing? What's really hitting on Meta AI and Meta's Facebook and Instagram. So then you got others. See what promotions are going on and how you could leverage that. That's a different thing. You're not taking your data, because you take that advertising and then you use that with your CRM, and now you promote that out. Now the masses are going to get, and they're getting your information because they're your customers or people who've signed up on your lists, or they use your advertising. That's a different type of data, because you're taking from their knowledge and what they're seeing and what they're gathering. That's the nice thing about Google ads and Facebook ads, or Meta ads as they call it. You can take that information and now you can use that for yourself. And you're only sending that to your lists and your advertising and your promotions. That's pretty cool. The other side of the house, you don't want anybody knowing how much you're paying for products, how much you're selling products for. You don't want those things, but you want to see internally all of your people to be able to have that information, to be able to say, if we change this and we do a quick Christmas sale at 10% off, you come into any store, or we're going to sell products we're going to give you this away free if you come into our store. Those are things you are vital. And if you start messing with the data, imagine you're Care4, a multi-billion-dollar organization, and you take their data into your data. That just skews your numbers tremendously. I'm sorry, I'm not a billion-dollar entity. I'm a few $1 million. You take those $1 billion entities and that comes into mind, that just creates havoc.
Yep. Yeah, and I guess, if people really want to sort of test this, just take some of your data and put it into ChatGPT and say, now, like, you guys will know your stats, right? You guys will know what sells and what doesn't sell. Take some of that data, just throw it into ChatGPT and say, what sales should I be doing on this? What sort of promotion should I be doing? And see what it gives you back. Because what it does is it takes it from across such a wide range. They're large language models, which means they just take in reams and reams and reams, like petabytes of data, and goes through it really quickly, and then throws out something to you and says, well, you match all of this, and this matches and this matches. We think this is what it is. But you don't know where it's getting its data from. You just don't know. And I know that I can look at things that it gives me and I go, that's not going to work for me. Okay. How did you come up with that? And if you dig at it a little, it'll actually come back and it'll tell you where it's got its information from and why it's recommended that. And that's where, yes, you can prompt it. Yes, you can do your instruction prompting and all of that to bring it down. But why would you if you've got a tool that will actually go through your own data and use your own data and only your data, not poison it from outside with other people's data? I think that's really important.
Not to use ChatGPT unless you're going to be using it to do some type of, if you're going to make a press release or you're going to do some, be careful of taking it in the public ChatGPT rather than our private ChatGPT models, because these we built. Those everybody has access to, and once you put your data into the public ChatGPT, it's there for everybody to use.
Yeah, look, and I know Australians have been seeing recently there's been some privacy breaches because people have actually dumped customer lists into ChatGPT. I'm assuming to do some formatting or to do some organizing. And then all of a sudden that information has appeared somewhere else. It's like, well, how did that happen? Well, you copied it into ChatGPT and it's not private. It's just not private.
So just be careful, everyone, what you put in there.
Yeah, absolutely. All righty. So what else do small businesses, and we are talking SMBs, what do they need to think about when they're doing these sorts of things, Chris? What do they need to think about?
So they need to think about security. Security should be one of the utmost ideas that they need to be thinking about. Security is huge. Notice, the faster that some of these bad actors are doing bad things, we can't keep up on a cybersecurity. Heck, I get patches every single day from large applications such as Microsoft Corporation, SAP Corporation, Oracle. I get all these patches, and our team has got a whole team that we do nothing but security activities on. But then that also leads into cybersecurity. What are the things that you're doing on your screen? Are you clicking on that email that you should not have clicked on? Be smart about the things that you're doing. I know we laugh about it now, and I've got a mom that she does those things. She clicks on these games. She likes to play these games online. And I'm constantly having to replace a computer because it's been so infected by spam activity. Thank God she doesn't do any of the checking or anything online like I do. But I don't even open emails from her. If I see an email coming from my mother, I call her. Hey, did you just send me an email? I just want to make sure everything's okay. Because I know that that computer gets violated more than I've ever heard of in anybody's history. Cybersecurity. Make sure that you are securing yourself, your organization, and the people around you. And I can't say it enough. It's always trying to keep up with the patches. If your computer or your corporation, and if you're currently on servers or you currently have applications, always make sure you're using that's why Google constantly is sending out updates to Chrome and others. They're battling that for us as well, which I love. But always make sure that your infrastructure and your hardware and your applications are constantly being secured. Then the next thing I would say for a small business is password protection. This leads back to security and cybersecurity. Everybody in our company has to have a minimum 11-character password on different systems, and they cannot use the same password on any two applications, because you get one, all of a sudden you get into a second one. Now all of a sudden you're into two systems. So that would be the second piece that I would give everybody outside of the cybersecurity realm.
So I think there's a couple of things there that we can hit on a little heavier too. First of all, you mentioned do your patches, do your updates. Absolutely, keep your backups, do your backups, make sure your patches are going through. It's just you just have to. You just have to. Why? Because it doesn't matter how great a mousetrap we create for you. It doesn't matter how good we make our security systems. They get smarter. They just keep getting smarter. So we're always it's just always how far ahead can we be? And generally, your hackers are one step ahead of us. We're normally just playing catch up. It's like, oh, they're getting in there now. Now we've got to go and patch that system, and now we've got to work out what they're doing and how they're doing it. So there are no absolutes in cybersecurity. That's the first thing I'm going to say. There's no absolutes. I think everyone needs to approach it as you are going to get hacked at one point in your life. Something is going to go wrong at one point in your life. The best thing you can do is minimize the impact of that.
Yes. I got 2 credit cards hacked in the same week. 2 different providers, 2 different activities. And unfortunately, it was on the same trip that I was at.
Yeah, so it's not, and that's probably not you. That's probably one of your providers or one of your people that you used to buy something had the problem. That's not you. That's something else.
You just never know what's going to happen between credit cards, between emails, between the network itself. There's always something out there.
And the other thing is, think about your own activities. Think about how you interact with things. Chris mentioned his mum playing games and doing all of those things. Are you responding to those cute little surveys that ask you what's your favorite color? What was the name of your first pet? Where did you live? They're all things that go to profiling. You might not get hit with it today. You might not get hit with it forever. But at some point, someone's got enough information that they can ring up a provider and they say, well, what's your security words? Oh, I think my answers are this. because you've given them all of that information. You have given it to them over time. They've just got a profile of who you are online. That's the other thing that I think I want to mention.
You are so 100% correct, because in the dark web, they are building profiles. I'll be very honest, and this might get people to feel that I'm targeting, but the Chinese government and the Korean government, North Korea, they have got databases. You people out there watching me, sure, look at me. Get off TikTok. Get off TikTok. You want to talk about being profiled? Right there. I did it in an entire episode. I was very fortunate. Twice now they asked me to come back on Newsmax TV here in the United States. And I talked through the process. It is mandatory for every company in China to give their data to the Communist Party. I don't know how many times I can tell this to people. Your facial profile, your pictures, they literally have pictures of you going back to pretty much your birth, because they get it off of you on TikTok. Then you give them their Instagram access, your Facebook access, your LinkedIn access. You give that application access to everything. And even here in the United States with Facebook and Meta, they have files on you. Try to delete your Facebook profile. I double dog dare you. I triple dog dare you.
You can't. You can deactivate your Facebook profile. You can't delete it. You can deactivate
the data. And if you notice on every phone, like I have an Apple iPhone, you can do this on Google as well. Try to go in here and try to make it so you do not give them the ability to keep your data or to track your data. Once you download an app, and if they don't give you that, it's an automatic tracking. You have to read through everything on the App Store as well. That's all part of this process of knowing who you are. There's a reason us in the United States, we have an entire facility just built to warehouse data and to track all the data of literally just about everybody that's in the United States. They know where you are. They know who you are. They know what you do. They know what kind of cars you drive. They know your bank accounts. They know who you love and who you don't. And it's pretty much every government around the world is doing that. And they track it all.
Yeah. Yeah, so just be careful with your profile stuff, only give out what you absolutely need to give out. Don't just sort of think, well, they know. And honestly, I hear people say, oh, well, they know it anyway. We can just do it. It's like, no.
I hate that comment.
Don't. Please don't. Okay. Now you mentioned passwords. How do you feel about password managers?
So I'm a little skeptical about password manager application tools. I believe that organizations should have a password philosophy and a structure and activities in place. I don't like to use tools because tools can still get hacked. So all of a sudden, all 173 of my employees got hacked because there's all their passwords inside this application. So our CIO and myself, we sat down and we came up with a philosophy. Every 60 days, your passwords get changed on your different systems once you've basically logged in. And all those systems, they're hidden behind our firewalls, and we've got a tool called Overwatch that we actually built that manages, monitors, and supports our landscapes. We are a Microsoft shop, so that's all taken. So every time, and it's a 11-character process. Everything's got to have symbols, letters, numbers, and it's got to have capitalizations in it as well. So it makes it much more difficult. If it was, I did an interview one time where I talked about the 11 characters and all those different symbols and activities, how long it actually takes somebody to hack you. Well, if you used to have if you remember back, I'm 56, so I used to have just a 4-letter password. Then I had a 5-letter, and I didn't have to do letters and numbers. And then I had to do letters, numbers, symbols. Well, the process came to about, if you did 11 characters and you had capitalizations, numbers, and characters that were a part of it. It took them literally years to break it. Now there are sniffers that'll go out there and it'll run all these processes. It hasn't caught up to the point that every 60 days it would be able to catch you. So that's
the important thing. Yeah, changing it regularly.
60 days.
Okay, so that's a good place to go. All right, so we've got putting our systems together. We've got our security. How would a small business actually start this process? I would start honestly with a needs analysis. What is it that we need to do? So would you like to talk us through that process?
Yes, it's absolutely a needs analysis. So if you're an existing company versus bringing a brand new company, there's a little bit different of a needs analysis that you would partake in. If you're doing an application, if you're doing security, they're going to be similar, but they're not 100% the same. Sit down and discuss what are your needs, how you need. We do a 3-day workshop on needs analysis for organizations for their SAP applications. What's, how's, how many people, solutions, sets, blah, blah. We go through that whole process with them. And by the time we get done, we come up with a multi-page document that walks them through a process that we hope that they're going to take. If it's a security, how to secure your organization, maybe it's your servers, your apps, your people, your emails, so on and so forth. If it's just from an SAP standpoint, what are the applications, how you need to secure them, what you need to do for them, how we need to do for implementation, what we need to do for the cloud base. We'll know everything that they're looking for from that period of time, including licenses and so on. But each one has a different format to make sure that they're going to be secured, they're going to be viable for their business, it's going to work well for their business, your employees are going to be get the information that they need, your customers, and your partners as well. So we go through all those with organizations, and it's a process of Q&A. And it's funny, the A's sometimes don't work together. You ask a question, this group wants this group wants this group wants this. You got 20 different answers to the same question. You're like, okay, we need to have a little bit more of a discussion on this.
Right. And that's why you do it. That is why you do it, because you're actually pulling out what all your different areas are doing. And even if, you've only got a small number of employees and you've got one employee who works across multiple things, if you were to ask them different things at different times, they'd give you different answers, because when I'm doing this job, I need to do it this way. But when I'm doing this job, I need to do it this way. And when I'm doing this job, there's no one way of doing something depending on the process or the role that you're enacting at that point. That's the word I'm trying to find.
Yes.
So 3 days is actually quite quick, I would have thought, for a larger organization.
Well, it depends on how we're basing the organization, what they're doing. Remember, for us, typically we're in the SMB market. So I'm not necessarily going into Miller Coors or Molson Coors and those types of organizations. If they hire us to do that, it's going to take a longer period of time because we're going to have more touch points. But a lot of the SMBs, it's a smaller human being shop. I literally can bring 3 people into the room, and first one's the owner, second one's going to be the finance team, third one's going to be HR. And then if they've got warehouse management and stuff, then it gets deeper and longer. But depending upon what we're going to need from them and who we're going to need to talk to, if I talk to those 3 people, I get the lion's share of my activity from them.
Okay, cool. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Yeah, all right. I'll give you that one. 3 days to me, it's like, yeah, I could see spending 3 days just for my own very small business doing that and getting it right. So coming out of that, just trying to think, if you were to take an existing organization that's got Active Campaign and Zoho CRM and all these other systems, how do you move them from that collection into the homogeneous SAP type environment? Do you do it all at once? How? What?
Oh gosh, I am not a fan of Big Bang. It was a great TV show, but I'm not a fan of the Big Bang Theory. You've got to structure these activities. Not all pieces of data can go in. You're going to have to cleanse your data. You're going to have to make sure of what data is going to come over and what's not. Especially if you've got those environments, you're going to have to make sure that we're going to probably do a blue field. I'm not a big fan of brown fields going to the S4 in the cloud, because that's a lot of data that you probably don't need. We just dealt with a customer that had over 20 years of EDI data. We had to cleanse that database immediately and get to the real nitty-gritty of it. That's where the big problem starts. Organizations think we just throw up all of our data, it'll go up there, it'll all magically come to compile together. Bingo, we got it. No. What you need to do is you need to do a data analysis, and this is where you'll get a little bit deeper on that. And then you'll have to do a data cleansing exercise, and that's going to take weeks and months depending upon how old your company is. And then you're going to have to decide, is that data something I really want to bring in here? Or is that something I'm going to put into a data warehouse or a blob storage that I can get to, and it's only our data, and be able to use it? Or are we going to start from absolute scratch? We're going to put in all of our customer data. We're going to put in all of our partner data, all of our aware, and we're going to start it from scratch here, but none of that old data is going to come over into it. And we're going to start from scratch. So there's a lot of variables in there, and that's why that initial review is going to be important. And then to take that information, no big bang has ever worked in my experience. Small applications, start with your finance data, then start with your HR. You're going to have to cleanse those the way it is. Because how many times have you gone into an organization and well, my QuickBooks isn't up to date. Okay, well, when was the last time you updated it? We reconciled everything? Well, maybe about a year, 2 years ago. If I'm lucky, I got 2 months or 3 months. Okay, well, we just had a deal with a company. Unfortunately, one of their main finance person passed away on a trip. They hadn't touched anything. The data and the information, they were trying to figure out passwords and user IDs, how they were going to move things around. And it was just horrible. You felt for them, but you had to get that system back up and running and cleaned, and it gets to be kind of messy sometimes. No big things.
I think most of the times would be a good statement. Now, you mentioned a couple of things there. You said blue fields and brown fields. We've spoken about brown fields. Blue fields?
So blue field is when you're not taking all of your data and you're really trying to minimize it as much as possible, but you're willing to put some of your data, could be maybe your finance data in there or maybe your HR data. So in the SAP ecosystem, it's green, which is 100% vanilla. Then a blue field where it's got a little bit of your data. Brown field is all of your data is coming over, and you're going to just garbage up your new system no matter what.
It's called brown fields because it's muddy. Yep, got it.
Very
Among
muddy.
other things that are brown. I've got it. Now, you said, sorry.
I prefer the green fields. Try and get everything and put everything else in blob storage. And as you need that data or you're trying to work with it, then bring data points out and then keyboard it back in, or bring a little bit of something along with per customer, per need, per finance, per partner, whatever the case may be.
Okay, now you just said it again, into blob storage and bring it out. What are you talking about? I think I understand, but let's see if my understanding's correct.
Sure. So a blob storage is a where you take whatever data and whatever applications and you put it in what we call blob storage. So it's a cheaper storage unit in Azure or AWS or GCP, and it sits in there. Now you can go in there and you can look at that data. 99% of the time you can look at it. And that 1% of the time you need to pull something out and put it into your new system. Then you can do it in that way. We just call it blob storage on the tech side.
Right. Okay. So it is. You literally just pick it up from here, drop it in there, start with a green fields if you like, start to build things up, and then go, oh, I need this information. I know we had it. We've got to go and pull it out. And because that's the information you need, you can pull it out and then populate it. So then you're only bringing across what you need as you're using it. I mean, it doesn't matter how good your needs analysis are. It doesn't matter how good your data analysis is. You will forget things. It's just, you will forget things.
It's 100% you are going to forget something. Somebody's going to forget that they used to do this at the end of a quarter or at the end of the month or the end of the year. And they're going to be like, oh, okay, I didn't think about that process. Let's go into the storage. And we call it blob storage because it's the cheaper storage that's there that will just hang out there for you to be able to get access to.
Yeah. So, I mean, you mentioned, some companies have years and years and years of data. I know that I've got years and years and years of data, like in my email systems and my accounting systems. And you don't want to lose it. You're not using it all the time, but you don't want to lose it. And I have had cases where 7 years later, I'm like, I need that information. Oh, that was in an email, and I can go and find that email. It's sitting there. I can find it, and I've got the information I need. But that's once in every couple of blue moons, to be perfectly honest. It's not every day.
No.
Do you recommend people keep data for a certain amount of time and then just sort of excise it and get rid of it?
I'd say minimum of 7 because it's tax information, finance information, lawsuit information. Go 7 years, keep it in there, and then just keep rolling it off. And then if you want to put it into a hard storage and you want to put it on a tape backup or somewhere and throw it up in the Iron Mountain or something like that, do that with it, but then just keep them in the background. But I would keep 7 years at a minimum. At least in the
7 years. Well, 7 years is pretty ubiquitous, I think, across the Western world. So that makes sense. Okay. I'm just trying to think where I want to head to because there's a lot here. We've spoken about what it is, how it can benefit businesses, what they would do. How would a business decide if they wanted to go this way? What would be the pain point for them to say we should be looking at this sort of system?
To look at an SAP system would be you've got multiple systems that you are trying to keep track of everything. So you've got one finance system, you've got one HR system, a travel system, a warehouse management, maybe a logistics system for your warehouse. You've got, I know my father used to run a manufacturing company, and he even had where their palleting system, that was another system. They had all these different systems that were out there. And finally, at the end of the day, I had graduated. I was in SAP, and I said, Dad, you got to look at this because you guys are literally spinning and wasting money. You've got a server for this, a server for this. You got this entire server farm. You got all these applications. And then their technology guy left, and he was asking me to come and help. And I'm looking at this stuff going, I don't know what he did here. Some of this stuff just doesn't make sense. And so I tell our organizations, when you start feeling pain, when you start feeling confused, when you start feeling like you don't have a control or a handle on all these, we'll do dance hands, all these 10 little systems, and you can get it down to one system, and that little one system just points right at you and says, I'm ready to just have one system of truth. Some companies will take longer than others. Some companies will be like, I've already paid for all of these dance hands. I don't know if I want to pay for that. And then all of a sudden you get a cybersecurity hack. Then what do you do? I've had companies do that, and I feel horrible for them. But we'll constantly tell organizations, you got to update your dance hands. Otherwise, you're going to get hacked. And if you can do that with one rather than 10, you're going to feel some pains. You're going to feel cost. You're going to feel capabilities of keeping everything up and running. You're going to feel maybe a pain of, unfortunately, that individual leaves, and now you got to refigure out how the configuration is. You're going to feel some sort of pain. And when that happens, that's when companies tend to call me or call one of my staff, and I'll go in there and I'll just chit chat with them and I'll ask them the questions. Let's talk about your pains. What is happening day to day? And we'll go from there.
That makes sense. I was also sort of thinking it's when you get down to, I need to buy another Zapier. I need to upgrade my Zapier or my Make or my whatever license so that I can do all these other things. Because that's just a cost that goes on top of everything just to keep it running.
Always there, because think about your licenses. You think about all the licenses for the dance hands.
Yeah.
They're all starting to update, and a lot of them are starting to do AI, and a lot of them are doing, well, all of a sudden now you're getting another, let's say $7,000 per user per license, or $500 per user per license, or even if you've got a monthly reoccurring charge of another $100 per user. Now all of a sudden you're like, holy cow. And you have to do that to dance hands compared to one. And the fact that it's all in a cloud now, and you might have 10 different servers. I've got companies that I still work with that have got servers in their closets, and they cannot shut down that server. I know we've all been there, and I get it. You want to save costs.
Do you know what I just thought? Like when you said, I'm like, please don't fail, because trying to recover that piece of hardware is going to be expensive.
Oh, and the time it's going to take, the cost it's going to take, the rebuilds. We've got one customer right now that cannot shut off a system. They're trying to get it to the end of the year. But if that system goes down in any way, shape, or form, it's got old enough Windows on it that it would literally probably do 500 Windows updates as soon as you came onto it, and it would never allow the application to be able to run back up. So they're just begging and praying that it gets them through the end of the year.
Oh my goodness. I mean, yeah, that makes me feel sick. That actually makes me feel sick in my stomach. Particularly having been a support person in those environments, I'm like, I'd be there sort of, please.
This is why I have no fear. Oh, it's horrible.
That's why I'm great. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so you actually mentioned something there. First of all, my accounting system annoys me no end. It keeps updating my invoicing like every month. Like I started at I think I started at $79 a month, and within 6 months it's $100 a month now. And they've given me all these extra benefits and all these extra things. I'm like, I don't use them. I just want this one little thing out of your system. I'm not using all.
You have to have this because this is our new basic package, and this one, and you're just like, I don't need any of
AI stuff. It's got all this AI stuff, and I'm looking at all this AI stuff, and I'm saying AI in inverted commas because, yeah, there's a long bow people draw on that term at the moment.
Oh, everybody uses AI for everything, and I've got friends that are still in QuickBooks and others, and I look at some of this and I'm just like,
that's not AI. That's not AI. That's just basic data analysis. That's exactly what I look at. I'm looking at that's not AI. That's just basic data analysis. Give me that in a CSV, and I could have that out in 10 seconds without a problem.
And we could probably do it better than they could.
Because this is actually where I wanted to take the discussion is, how do you feel about all this AI coming into all of these systems that we're seeing? My thing is, when I've looked at it, particularly in my accounting system, there's one particular report I want to get and I cannot get it, and that is how much money was put into my bank accounts today. How much money did my accounting system say was put in? Just that's all I want is the gross amount that went into my bank accounts today. I cannot get that out of my system. It will not give it to me. Oh, you can look at your cash flow and you can look at this and you can look at that. But I have to go through and go, okay, give me the bank reports, and I have to add it all up and go, right. It's bizarre. Of all the things that your accounting system doesn't give you. Of all the things your accounting system doesn't give you, it doesn't tell you what your daily deposits were.
What is your daily deposit?
It'll give me a profit and loss statement, but it won't give me the deposits per day, and then I can't. And then what that means is I can't look at my week and say, well, on Monday I got this, on Tuesday I got this, on Wednesday I got this, and do some reporting that I want to do. You cannot get it. You don't get it. Isn't that bizarre?
Wow, I didn't even think of that. I'll have to ask.
Yeah, it's not until you want to go and do it. And when you say it, people go, oh, that'd be really nice to know.
Nice to know. And then I would like to know how much came in and in what account did it come in? Because we have multiple checking accounts and multiple inbound. And we got our operating account. We got our just. I would like to know what account, and instead of having to go to the bank site and pull that in.
And so your bank, and even my bank won't just give me a report, a daily report of what was deposited. I've got to go through manually and get it. Like I'm beside myself. I'm like, how can people not do this? This is such a basic function, but no one realizes it until you want to go and do it.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about all this AI that's going into systems? I mean, I made the comment, I don't think it's really AI. Some of the things I've seen passed off as AI when I've gone into it, it's like, this is just a wizard. This is just a wizard that walks you through things, and you've just rebranded it an AI. What do you
And that's
feel
what
about?
a lot of these organizations on their applications are trying to do. And then they're trying to recoup some type of dollars and cents. Call people on it. I tell companies all the time, if you don't think that that's AI, call them on it. Make them show you how the artificial intelligence works. And if they can't do it, go to the next one, pass them by. Call them out on it. Some of it is such BS. Oh, I've got this whiz-bang bot. No, you don't. No, you don't. You copied and pasted that from another company and you put that on your website so you could have a chat bot. Doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah, so I mean, and that's what I'm kind of finding. And then they say, oh, well, we're increasing your price because now you've got this AI, and it's like, but this AI doesn't actually. First of all, I don't know how the AI works, so I don't know how I can implement it in my business. You've told me it's there, but you're not telling me how to use it. You're not telling me the practicalities of it.
Oh, hey, you need to be trained on that. That's going to take you a 3-day class to learn that. So you're going to have to pay another $199.
It's $300 or $400 for the 3-day course. Yeah. Yeah, like small business owners, then now you're going to get me on a bloody soapbox here. Like small business owners can afford the 3 or 4 days of their business to go and do that training course, let alone money on top of it.
Yeah. I can't afford the days away. I can't afford, I want look, you either tell me what it's going to, I would rather have a PDF document that I can read myself and do it in front of me. I can do it at 5 o'clock. Like here at 6 p.m. right now. Put it in front of me so I can walk through it step by step by step, or give me a YouTube video or something that I can do it. I'm not going to.
I want to get up at 4 a.m. and do my training. Then I want to get up at 4 a.m. and do my training. If I want it, and I'm such a kinesthetic learner. I'm the one that I've got to see, touch, do. It's just the way I am. So when you set me down in a class and say blah, 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 I'm like, none of it sticks. I got to go out. And then I pull up the screen and I go, what did they say?
Exactly.
Well, that was wrong. That menu doesn't exist. What the hell did they do?
I hate that component. This menu, all of a sudden, they tell you it's supposed to go to settings. Well, settings isn't in the drop down that you told me it was. Don't get me on my. Oh, yeah.
So it is okay. It's cool. I'm not alone, and it is kind of a techie thing to go, yeah, you guys, this is
right there with you, kiddo.
But yeah, alrighty. Now the other thing that I actually want to just touch on with these companies that are actually saying they're putting AI into their systems, do we need to be worried about where our data is going now that they're putting these AI systems into, or these AIs into their systems? Do we need to worry that our data?
I'm always worried about my data or a company's data. I always ask the questions, what are you doing with our data once your application is on our system? Are you taking our data? Are you storing our data? Where are you storing our data? If you do take it, what are you doing with those activities? So I'm constantly asking those activities, the what's and hows. So I at the end of the day, I'm constantly worried about where my data goes, who's using it, how they're using it, because I don't want them inside. SAP allows us, they have an AI tool called Joule, but it stays inside of our system. It doesn't take data out of the system. So that's why I like my SAP applications.
I like that idea. I do like that idea because it does concern me. You've got my accounting data. Not that my accounting data is anything special, but you've got my accounting data. What are you doing with it? You've got my customer database. What are you doing with my customer database that I don't know about?
Yes, that's a big one. I don't like my finance data being out there in the open public, and I don't like my customer partner data being out there in the open public.
Well, I noticed the other day, I don't know if you saw it, but Salesforce had Salesforce was one of them, had a data breach. Heaps
Another data.
heaps of data has been just dumped out into the internet. And Zendesk customer got done. And they had all of the age verification stuff that they needed to be doing because their age verification, the automated age verification process had failed. So they had to put in help desk tickets, and to do the help desk tickets, they had to put up their images, their government IDs, and Zendesk hadn't, or the company that got hacked hadn't purged the data once the tickets had been addressed. So that's now all out there.
Lovely. Yeah, I say it every day. Do not trust the application providers that work with you. They're as fallible as you are, and sometimes even more so.
And it's not malicious. Trust me, it's not. I know it's not malicious. It's just
laziness. A lot of laziness.
Well, some of it's laziness, and some of it is just. It was just the perfect storm of events that this has happened, and there it goes, and you can't avoid it. Okay, cool. Now, you've said you've written some books. Why don't you tell us about these books you've written? Because I'm intrigued.
Look at all those books right there. Of course, I went to George Jackson. So I'm very blessed. That Mastering SAP series up in the upper right-hand corner. It's 4 books. Those were bestsellers for the SAP ecosystem. And then I've got a total of 17 of them out there on Amazon. AI, large language models, getting in depth into AI. A lot of them, the max pages I have are like 165 pages. I wanted them to be available for people to get just an understanding, get a baseline, be able to understand what AI is in SAP, understand what cloud computing is in SAP. Those were the SAP books. Then my artificial intelligence books, those were basics of large language models. What are large language models versus small language models? Because I love small language models. I like getting granular. I like getting down in the mud and getting dirty. I like those. And I talk about those, and I break those down into several different books. So total of 17, all said and told, on Amazon.com, and it's all around the globe. People can read them. And they're 99 cents for the most part. And I give them away at trade shows. I give them away at every speaking event I have. This year I've done over 40 speaking events. And it's just the basics for people to get them to think. It's the basement of your home. Here's the basement. Gives you ideas, gives you concepts, gives you thoughts, and gives you the ideas of what's happening in the future, and go from there.
Awesome. All right, look, I'm going to make sure I've got that link in the show notes for this interview. I think that's really important, and I'm probably going to go and pick up some and read them myself. I'm a nerd.
And if you Kindle, what is it? Amazon Kindle Plus or something like that, they're absolutely free to read.
Are they? Oh, that's good to know. I don't think I actually have Kindle Plus at the moment, but if they're only 99 cents or $2 each, it's not a problem. That's
there you go. Well, thank you very much. I hope people enjoy them. I hope they get a little bit of knowledge off of it. And if they have questions, I actually put a QR code in there with all my contact details so people can reach out to me and ask me questions. I don't like people not trying to do things without not knowing what they're doing, and give it the opportunity. Yeah,
I love it. That's kind of how I work too. Just ask the question. If I can't answer it, I'll let you know. I'll go and find the answer because I'm always intrigued and I like learning. So.
Yes, please. If I don't know it, I'm gonna find it for you.
Yeah, there you go. All righty. Now, there was something else there, and it's been and gone. Oh, well, how can people get in touch with you? How would people start out? What would you recommend?
Sure. So they can reach me anytime, any place, anywhere on LinkedIn. Just say that you heard me on the podcast, you wanted to connect. Even if you've got no questions whatsoever and you just want to connect with me. I love LinkedIn because then I can interact with people all the time and I can share them information if they're interested. Otherwise, you can go to my websites. I've got approyo.com, approyo.com, or Mugatu, MUGATUAI.com. And otherwise, Amazon's got me everywhere. They'll send you to my Amazon author page. And
Awesome.
easy. I'm on all the Twitters and LinkedIn's and X's and everything. It all just comes in. Somebody's got a profile on me.
I'll go stalk you. And I'll make sure I put all that in. I'll make sure I put all that in the show notes as well. Now, Chris, out of everything we've spoken about today, what's the one thing you really want people to take away with them?
You know what? I'm actually going to make 2 points. One, secure yourself. Secure yourself, secure your company, secure your family, be secure about the things that you're doing with your data, with your applications, with your knowledge. Secure yourself. 2, educate yourself on AI, because the more you know about AI, it is not going to take away your job unless you allow it to. But what it is going to do is it's going to make you a better human. And it's going to make you more valuable to your companies. It's going to make you more valuable to the job that you're doing. It's going to make you more valuable to your customers and your partners. And it is not going to truly take away your job. It's going to make you better at what you do and how you do things.
I love that. I really, really love that. And that's a message I've been trying to get through as well. Just use it properly. Become experienced in it and understand how it works and how you can leverage it. I love it. Great answer. Look, Chris, thank you so much for the time today. I'm just going to invite people to come across and join my community, askcharlyleetham.locals.com. It is for small business owners who want to understand their tech a little better, but don't want to get into the weeds of it, want to be able to ask questions and get answers in plain English as we can get sometimes. Come across and join me there. If you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed this interview and this discussion, please leave us comments. Let us know if you've got any questions at all. Leave them on the video. I'll try to respond to them eventually. I'm sure Chris will if he sees them as well. Please do give the video a like. That does help the algorithm. Maybe share it with a friend as well. And if you haven't done so already, please do subscribe to my channel and ring the notification bell so you find out when I drop more content. If you're interested, I drop a podcast every other day. It's a short form podcast, gives you a little bit of a tip about your business tech and things that you need to be thinking about. Chris, thank you so much for letting me bang on there for a minute. I really do appreciate it. And
you have dance hands today.
Dance hands. Really appreciate you being a guest. Thank you so much. And guys, I'll see you in the next one.
I will see you soon. Yes.